Clarkston, Michigan, the greatest city in the world. It's the Jose Aliaga Show. Jose Aliaga knows everyone. Get to know him as he interviews some of the most fascinating people from the greater Independence Township area. And now, broadcasting from the studios at Clarkston High School, the home of the state champion Wolves, here's Jose Aliaga.
Welcome to the Jose Aliaga Show. Today we have a special guest. I have two guests, and they are Democrats. You know, for many weeks, months, we have several Republicans, candidates, conservative guests, but I want to bring more variety. I want to bring new guests and have different opinion. I like the freedom of speech. And today I have Jordan Tiffany. Jordan Tiffany is a college Democrat from University of Michigan. And also I have Matt Drower. He's considered socialist. And they come today to share their ideas about the Democrat primary, which is also, you know, they have also a process, the same like the Republican primary that we have been talking at this show. We also have the Democrat process that is going to pick the nominee for the President of the United States. That, you know, Republicans and Democrats, we have both nominees for November election. So how you doing, guys?
Pretty good.
Doing well, doing well.
Thank you for coming here. I'm very happy to have both of you. You guys look like a rock stars.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, absolutely. So, Jordan, I'm going to start with you. We have two candidates for the Democrats, Secretary Hillary Clinton and Senator Bernie Sanders. Who do you like?
I like Senator Bernie Sanders.
Why?
I think he's the true progressive that's running. He stands for a lot of issues that I want. Make college more affordable for across the board for everyone by providing college education for 4 years for free with simple tax on Wall Street, and then universal health care through single payer. I think that's the direction that the country needs to go in. So.
And Mac, tell me, who do you like in this Democrat primary?
Definitely Bernie Sanders as well.
Okay,
Yes.
why?
Well, I mean, I am an EMT. My father worked at Buick on the line for 30 years. I mean, he is consistently been for labor, in support of labor, and in support of the middle class. And I think for me, he just resonates so much because he is a social democrat, which means federal expenditure funding for fire departments, public schools, things that America really did well. And so, and I think bipartisan, once you cut through, you know, the green tape, the red tape, I think that those are bipartisan issues, and I think both could get in support of that. And I think that's what you're getting right now, you know, two non-traditional candidates, both Trump and Sanders, and I'm obviously in the Sanders camp. So.
Okay, but Jordan, you mentioned free college, which sounds good, but do we have the funding for free college?
Yeah, it would be done through the taxes on Wall Street. So he has three different really small taxes. One's like 0.5%, I think 1%, and even less than that for a third one. So based on like speculation, they'll get a tax on that.
So you think we need to raise taxes?
It's only on
strategically
Wall Street.
So
it won't happen to middle class or even like normal rich people, just people on Wall Street that are doing speculation.
And do you guys think that would slow the economy maybe? Because, you know, when you take economy class, they says
Quite conversely,
raise taxes and make things more expensive.
I think it would make it more stable. Then they wouldn't be doing.
So it's on
crazy-
Wall Street speculation. So it's these wild speculations, and it's a, you know, big risk comes big reward, right? Well, with big risk also comes economic downturn, 2008 housing bubble, you know, and so it's like a tax would make them more conservative in their speculation. And so I think therefore it will have a stabilizing effect on the market.
Yeah.
Okay, because some people believe when you raise taxes, I mean, that scares some
Right.
investors, some people that
Right.
investing more
But
money.
these aren't investing, I mean, these are speculators. You know, this is a specific strategic tax.
Okay.
It's not tax across the board raising it, you know. This is a strategic tax that is going to, I mean, it's been untaxed. So I mean, these people are just speculating, which is causing market instability. You know, this is providing longevity to the market, in my opinion.
And then it has the benefit of growing the economy by having college graduates not be bogged down by their debt. They're actually able to stimulate the economy after they graduate. They can get jobs and actually purchase stuff, which helps the economy. And then also there's the whole idea that the people on Wall Street aren't, you know, just going to destroy the market when they're trying to get, you know, more money for themselves. So other investments become, you know, more stabilized, and we don't have to worry about the economy
I know for
suffering
young
because
people,
of that.
I know for young people, a lot of us, it's a gamble. You know, a lot of my friends, we go right into the labor force, or you go into school, and so it's kind of a funny narrative. We'll start going to school, and then we realize like it's costing us so much, and so then we'll enter the labor force, and we'll say, you know, I'm just going to go make some money, and then after a while you realize like I'm really not making that much money. I want to be something more. So then you go back into school, and this whole time you're accruing debt, which has interest, and so it's really, you have more people not going to school, not because they don't want to go to school. It's because the juice isn't worth the squeeze these days. You don't know if you're going to get a job. You could have a master's degree and you don't know if you're going to get a job, and you got $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 in debt. You know, so if we were to do something to mitigate that, you're going to end up with a much more educated population, and you're not going to stifle those kids going out and getting an education. And I think, and this is another bipartisan thing, I think both parties represent, or you know, receive the idea that well-educated and informed people is a good thing, you know, for our citizen base, for our economic, you know, competition globally.
I agree. I think that question of some of the arguments can how to reach the point. Is that some of the arguments?
Yeah, and when we do have a federal deficit, and I'm no stranger to that. I understand, like we don't want to spend more money, but at the same time, the last 14 years we've had two, you know, large-scale military conflicts going on in Iraq and Afghanistan, and regardless, we've trillions and trillions of dollars we put to that, and it's like, well, you know, it served to do nothing but destabilize the region, and we really didn't receive much of it, you know, and that's, you know.
It's true. It's a lot of things that that's why I mean that both candidates leading in the, well, at least in the Republican is the anti-establishment candidates right now.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. But I'm just curious. I just wonder why you guys don't want to support Hillary Clinton. She have experience. She was First Lady of Arkansas, First Lady of the United States. She was a senator. I mean, First Lady is not like elect position, I guess.
Right. But it's an experience-based position.
Yeah, she see who is there. She see the players in Washington. She deals sometimes. She deals with the state level. She had the experience at state level, federal level,
Secretary of State,
senator. She was in good committees.
I think Robert Reich, Secretary of Labor under the Clinton administration, I think he really said it the best. He said, Clinton, in my opinion, is the best candidate to run the system as it is now, right? To run the status quo. She's a reformist. Bernie Sanders is a revolutionary. He wants to change the system. So, I mean, to me, that sounds much more, because obviously the status quo is increasing income inequality. Income inequality is increasing illicit commerce. That's increasing violence. We see that. We had front row seats to the Flint, you know, just mess, you know, I can't really describe it any other way than the Flint mess, you know, and that's fiscal conservatism that ends up being a much more expensive deal in the end.
So Jordan, do you believe raising taxes will actually help people to reach better income?
Well, raising them
income
on
equality?
certain individuals. Obviously, you don't do it across the board raising income. So you need to do it on like the wealthy who usually aren't paying their taxes. So they need a higher tax for themselves. And then on Wall Street, because they're not really taxed at all, they get to put their money overseas in offshore bank accounts, and none of the money is stimulating our economy. It's not helping anyone, and that's why we got like
They make their money here,
yeah, and then
off
they-
of the
they-
American institutions that protect, and then they ship them off, or they put that money in banks
So
across.
now we got 63 people that have the same amount of money as the bottom half of the world's population. And 63 people don't need that much money.
I see. And you just talk about another subject. You just said before, minutes ago, that we spend $1 trillion in Iraq and Afghanistan. So, you know, we're dealing with terrorists. We have always every day. So every month we have to worry about these people, radicals that want to attack here. And what would your solution? You said let's put the expenditure, or let's take away what we're spending in this and spending something else. Okay, but how we prevent this?
There's a big difference between all-out military conflict and supporting NGOs on the ground and specific utilizing resources militarily specific. I mean, look at what Obama is doing with the. I'm not a huge fan of drone attacks, but obviously it's saving those boots on the ground, and it's actually cheaper in all reality. From the sources I've read, you know, it's much cheaper a conflict like that. But I think we just have to, you know, really like large-scale military conflicts are it's from the past. You know, that's 20th century warfare, and I think we just live in a different time period now. And so obviously I'm not blind to the fact that there are threats out there to human security, but I think we can solve these based on economy and economic development packages, not neoliberalism. I mean, not IMF, you know, World Bank. We need to invest in human capital and give people options, because I think people are generally risk averse, and I think they will choose things, you know, to better themselves economically via development packages than to just engage in you know, ideology or radicalism. So.
Right. Well, no matter what, we want healthy economy, we want more jobs, but pay people, you know. I see some people, I met people that living paycheck by paycheck, and we want a change, a positive change that bring, you know, better jobs, where people can select, I want this job because pay more and I like working on this instead, you know. Sometimes the people choosing a job that they don't want, but they have to.
They have to. And when you throw kids in the mix or a marriage, I mean, you now are not thinking just for yourself. You are thinking for kids. I know I have a sister, and she has kids, and you know, she wants to continue her education, but it's expensive. She has 2 kids. Who's going to watch those kids? She doesn't have money for daycare. You know, she works a regular job. I mean, these are all things that, you know, rich people don't necessarily think about, you know, and you have to rely on family. And if you don't have family, you know, my mom, she lives in Arizona. My father's retired, but, you know, he's old. He can't watch the kids all the time. And so my sister, it's taken her, you know, 5-10, you know, years almost to get through college. She's still not done. And you know, that's just something that I think in a nation that retains 1/3 of the world's wealth, you know, but represents 6% of its population, is problems that we shouldn't be having, you know. And I think this is why you'll get both Trump and, you know, Bernie Sanders supporters, non-traditional candidates, because we want something to change. We want more options. We want reduced income inequality. We want a redistribution of wealth.
But Bernie is not winning the election. I mean, he just won New Hampshire. And then what I see is the people is voting for Bernie. He's winning the popular vote, popular delegate or the delegates. But Hillary is winning the super delegates, and the super delegates are not too many people. It's a small group of people.
Yeah.
But apparently they can make you win the election if you are a Democrat. What do you think about that?
I think that we should get rid of superdelegates.
What are the super delegates? What are those guys?
They're high-ranking Democrats that get a vote that they get to decide who they want to vote for, whereas the other delegates are delegated based on how much popular vote a candidate gets in that state, either through the primary or through the caucus. So with the delegates, like Hillary's got like 400 some, and you need just over 2,000 delegates. So that puts her, you know, way up there with having those 400. Bernie's got, I think, 20 now. He just got a new one yesterday. So obviously that hinders him a bit, but like he was already projected to lose Iowa, Nevada, and South Carolina, and he didn't lose them as badly as people thought he was going to lose them, which I think is a good sign. But going into Super Tuesday, there's a lot of states that he's favored for, so I think
We'll see.
that
He won New
definitely
Hampshire,
go up.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, but he lost Iowa because the super delegates. correct?
No.
No,
Coin
Iowa
toss.
actually, he lost by 4 votes, I think, right?
He lost by
a coin toss.
yeah, he lost by coin tosses. There were 6 coin tosses that decided how certain counties were, well, precincts were going
Okay.
for. They wanted to go into Hillary, so he lost by like less than 1% in Iowa. So it was really close there, and Nevada was pretty close. South Carolina not so much, but he was still projected to lose by even more than what he actually did. So,
So
I think it's
This-
a good sign.
It's undemocratic, you know, in my opinion. This is the obviously superdelegates. Why do you think they're superdelegates? They have more power, influence, aka financial wealth, and that, you know, I think that is a problem. I think it's undemocratic, and I think when you look at the popular vote, we the people, we have spoken, like
So you're
especially
saying
millennials.
that the Democrat process or the primary process is not really good process because it's not very democratic?
I think things should change.
Change.
Yeah.
Because apparently, like, if someone want to run as a Democrat ticket, you're going to make sure you got the super delegates. You don't care about who's going to go and vote in the primary that day. You just call the, those guys that you says they are more
I
special.
think the primary
which is no
itself
equality
isn't bad. It's just the super delegate aspect to it. We can get
Okay.
rid of the super delegates and
Okay.
keep the primary structure, and that would be fine, because then the popular vote would win. But with super delegates, they can supersede it. It undermines grassroots movements, which is already being done through, you know, just neglecting Bernie in the media. They're not focusing on him at all.
So if we're going in this way, it looks like Hillary Clinton is going to win.
I hope not.
Okay, but let's see, Matt.
Yes.
If Hillary wins, would you vote for Hillary on
Yes.
November election?
Well, yeah.
Or maybe you maybe
Compared to anyone in the GOP right now, yes, I would vote for.
Okay.
I would vote for
The
Hillary.
same question for you.
I still would, but I don't know if she would actually win.
Really? So
Yeah.
you think Hillary Clinton can lose against any Republican?
I've
Not
seen-
anyone, but
I've seen polls where she loses to all but Trump, and Trump
So-
is only by 1%.
So
that she wins by.
she can beat Trump,
She might be able
Hopefully.
to beat Trump.
but Ted Cruz no.
Yeah, Ted Cruz, she loses to.
Marco Rubio,
She loses to.
Kasich,
She loses to him by the
Ben
most.
Carson.
11 points.
Rick Santorum.
Rick Santorum's out.
Because everyone just everyone. Okay, well, good
why not
answer.
Rick Santorum?
Yeah.
She'll beat him just because he dropped out.
She's okay.
But the same polls show that Bernie beats every single one of these guys. So
Really, Bernie will be, but you see,
But-
this is what we talk a few minutes before we start the interview. You see, I don't believe much about the polls for many reasons. Like if you make a poll in Keating, Independence Township, Clarkson area, any Republican candidate wins, and some people can call it Michigan polls. But if you make the polls in Detroit or Flint, any Democrat win against a Republican. So it depends where.
Certainly. It's much like Wall Street speculation. I mean, in all reality, it's
Right.
speculative, right? And
Right.
There's obviously a lot of barriers, a lot of influence, biases, depending on where the poll originates, right?
The polls that I really would like to see is the polls in, as a state, just 40 states: Ohio, Florida, Virginia, and Pennsylvania, the swing states, or purple states,
Yeah.
And when you actually look those polls, I think you have an idea. But I mean, I'm not talking about just certain areas like a conservative precincts and liberal precincts. We want actually that overall polling, and then you have an idea. And remember, in primaries, we got 5 to 10% of the people, registered voters, then vote. But on November election, we can get between 35 to 40 something percent that vote, because not everybody votes either.
Yeah.
Right, and
Some
that's the most
people-
important thing. And this is a bipartisan issue too.
Right.
Is that people need to get out there. Some of the most vocal people don't vote in the primary, don't vote in the general. We especially need to get out and vote in both of those, primary as well in general as local politics too. So
The last election in 2012, it seems like Barack Obama won by a lot. But if you look the numbers, in Ohio, he won by 1%. Florida, 1%. It was really close. And President Obama, I mean, he was campaigning for a long time because he knows he's the nominee. Romney have to wait to win the primary, and then after, won the primary, starting campaigning. In Ohio, it's a good example because he just got 50 bases, and Barack Obama has 200 bases, and he won by 1%. Now in this one, we don't have incumbent. You know, no, it's open seat. I mean, I would go for the purple states instead looking, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good strategy, you know, see what states are malleable to, you know, one party or the other.
Yeah, it's difficult to see. This is the poll and says this guy gonna win, but where is the poll? If you do the polling, like I said, here in Detroit, it doesn't matter because the 4 purple states are the one who decide.
Yeah.
I mean, but it has been happening for every election.
Sure.
You know? So, okay, so what you're saying, Bernie Sanders, period. But you will vote for Hillary
if she gets the nomination, I'd vote for her just because she's better than any of the Republicans running.
You know, I think a lot of people vote based on this abstract principle-based idea. I mean, look at what candidate is gonna do the best. I mean, who's fighting for you? Most of these candidates we can't relate with economically, socially. I mean, there's so many. I mean, Bernie Sanders is the lowest paid, you know, out of all of them. He has the least amount of money by far of any candidate there. He's the only one that has somewhat, you know, can see into the eyes of the laborer, you know, the individual, you know, guy, right? So the regular Joe. But most people, even if they're very compassionate people, buy into these large-scale abstract political ideas that are very hurtful, you know, for a lot of people.
But do you think that Hillary Clinton had that support of the union labor or the labor force? I mean, the people that you says.
Well, her husband passed NAFTA.
Yeah, I think she does have support from them, but only because they think she's the one that's going to win.
Well, hold on. You says her husband signed NAFTA.
And
so what's wrong with NAFTA?
Well, for NAFTA, I know here in Flint, you know, my dad worked for Buick for 30-some years, and with, you know, large trade deals like that, we tend to export routinized industry, manufacturing, for cheaper labor overseas. That kills American domestic industry. I mean, it really does. It put Flint, Michigan, I mean, we were on the map before. We were Vehicle City, USA, and not anymore. You know, I grew up during that whole entire time period, you know, from the early 90s, and then I saw the fall. You know, I saw everybody move out, and, you know, Buick City and Chevy in the whole just reduced to rubble, and then you know, GM foreclosed on it, gave it to the state. State don't want it. State can't do anything with it. I mean, it's a violation of business ethics. And even though President Clinton ran on that labor union, strong labor union platform, he passed NAFTA. From what Hillary said about TPP, I'm not confident that, you know, she is good. The Trans-Pacific Partnership, the new NAFTA is what I call it. I'm not confident that she's going to vote against it. She said that she didn't like it from what she saw, but
that was after
But
she
even
was
knowing,
campaigning
Jordan,
for it.
knowing what he just says, you still gonna vote for her?
Only if
Or
she
Hillary?
gets the nomination.
But knowing that she can kill more jobs like that?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think anyone in the GOP is going to do anything better.
Any better than that.
It would probably be worse.
Because GOP candidates typically always support large scale in the name of commercial success and in the name of economic development.
But sometimes you want the, well, it's a good point, but you want also the business do well, so provide more jobs as well.
Not here, though.
Yeah,
They're not going to.
provide
They're going to
elsewhere.
export them. Hey, they're constantly in search of cheaper labor, which is going to be overseas because they don't have any collective bargaining, they don't have any labor unions, and they don't have the state regulations that require things like minimum wages or mandatory minimum age for working. You know, these are the way that they're able to get around and exploit labor so that they can increase profits. And then that same profit is what we were discussing that is held overseas and then escapes American taxes.
And
that's a problem.
Okay, so now, because we have a time,
Sure.
I want to ask this other question. What do you think about we have in the point that it looks like President Obama have to make a decision to appoint a new Supreme Court member? You think have to be in this term and his term, or wait until the new president comes?
Well, the Constitution says that the president has the power to do it, and Congress, overlooks it. The Senate overlooks it. So I think Obama should be able to nominate, and the Senate needs to, just accept that.
No, the Senate can confirm, right?
Yeah.
Not just overlooked, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the ones that make the
Ratified.
appointment actually happen.
Okay.
So I think they just need to, accept that and do it, or else the argument can be extended to they can't pass any legislation because let's let the American people decide what legislation should be passed after the next election. So none of the Republicans in the Senate should be allowed to pass
They're
any
essentially
legislation.
shortening his term,
Yeah.
and I think it's kind of unfair to a democratically elected, official if you don't allow him to do anything, even though it says so in the Constitution. You don't allow him to do his job. To what obviously it's going to be his proposals, it's his plan. He was democratically elected. Even if you disagree with his policies or who he is as a person or a leader, you still he was democratically elected to the position. He needs to fulfill that till the end. And if you cut it short, I'm sorry.
And
but
their argument is to allow the American people to decide who should fill the Supreme Court, but they already decided that back in 2012 when they first elected him.
Even though I
So-
saw a video of Vice President Joe Biden when he was a U.S. Senator saying that a case similar like this back in the 80s, saying the other way around, that he said,
Bush
Right.
Senior. Yeah, but when that happened, he was just out, speaking out against it, which is pretty hypocritical.
Yeah.
But they still confirmed who he picked. So it's not, an obstructionist thing. It was just Joe Biden, leading an effort.
yeah,
to
even though it's
prevent
not,
it.
even though it's
just
not my
hypocritical.
candidate, I still support.
Right.
I support the process.
Okay.
You salute the man, not the, or you salute the rank, not the man, kind of thing.
So you guys know any of the candidates that President Obama is looking for? I mean, is you guys any
Well,
idea?
Sandoval, turned down. He was a pretty moderate Republican, and I know he was looking at him. He's the governor of Nevada, I believe.
Yeah.
In Nevada, and he's a pretty moderate. He supports social programs, like what I would term a compassionate conservative. And I was in support of him, but he already turned it down. So I don't know who else.
It was a rumor back in 2008 when Hillary Clinton was running against Barack Obama that Hillary may have, if she got won in 2008, but she didn't win in 2008, that she will appoint former Michigan Governor Jennifer Granholm. Do you think, and I see Granholm all over in the media,
Sure.
in interviews and all that, do you think Granholm will be an alternative from?
I'm not sure.
No?
She hasn't really
you didn't
been. Yeah, I haven't really seen much of anything. I don't know where she stands on a lot of issues like that, and it is different. Going from the state to federal level. There's different players involved in bigger things. But
I think someone that has a background in judicial work should be, first considered over someone from the executive branch.
Jordan,
Yeah.
do you think Jennifer Granholm did a good job in the state of Michigan as a governor?
I think she did a far better job than Rick Snyder.
Okay. No, I was asking you.
But given what was happening under the Bush administration, I think she handled the situation fairly well.
Okay.
But it wasn't the best governorship.
Okay. Guys, I would love to continue the interview, but the time's up. But I'm very happy to have both of you. It was a great
you for having
interview.
us.
I know a lot of people said that this is going to become a Jerry Springer team, but no, it didn't.
negative.
So it was really good.
Yeah, we're all patriots here, all
Yes.
Americans.
Right, that's right. Thank you for both of you, Cam, and maybe I would like to see you maybe later around and some other interviews. Hopefully, month from now we can see who is really winning in the Democrat primary, and I would like to have both of you and give me your opinion about what do you think about the next primary. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for the drive here, be here. That's all for today. If you want to contact Jordan or Mac, you have his contact right in his Facebook. They're the University of Michigan Flint Democrats College. If you are interested to follow up and follow them, they have a Facebook page. It's right there in the screen. And if you want to be on my show, you can call us 248-736-7163. And also we have a Facebook page, and you can like us at the Jose Aliaga Show on Facebook. And thank you, because we have so many likes lately, and that I'm glad that you like and enjoy the show. Thank you so much, and God bless you.